Hi, it's Sarah Richardson here, President of the 229 Executive Development Community for This Week Health. I'm excited to share details about the upcoming SOAR conference happening September 18th through the 20th, 2024 in Midtown Atlanta. SOAR is your opportunity to elevate your career in healthcare IT. Join us for dynamic sessions, interactive workshops, and keynotes from trailblazing women in the industry. This event offers actionable strategies and fosters genuine connections. Whether you're a health system employee or a vendor partner, SOAR provides unique networking and growth opportunities. Sponsorship packages are available, offering visibility and engagement with industry leaders. Don't miss out. Register today at bluebirdleaders.org/2024 SOAR Atlanta. Let's empower the next generation of women leaders in healthcare technology together. See you in Atlanta.
Today in Health IT, cyberattacks led to harrowing lapses at Ascension Hospital's clinicians say. This is an NPR article. We're going to take a look at it from an IT perspective and see if there's maybe a little different planning that we might need to do. My name is Bill Russell. I'm a former CIO for a 16-hospital system and creator of This Week Health, a set of channels and events dedicated to transform healthcare one connection at a time. We want to thank our show sponsors who are investing in developing the next generation of health leaders. Notable: ServiceNow, Enterprise Health, Parlance, Certify Health, and Panda Health. Check them out at thisweekhealth.com/today. Hey, this news story, every news story we cover, thisweekhealth.com/news. You can check it out on our website. Check it out today and let me know what you think. All right. Oh, June is Lemonade Days, and we've committed to raising $30,000 this month for pediatric cancer for childhood cancer through Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation. You are a generous lot. We are up over $24,000 for the month, and we appreciate that. To get us over the end, we are matching up to $10,000 any donations that are given through the end of June on our website. You go to thisweekhealth.com just go to thisweekhealth.com, top right-hand column. You're going to see a yellow ribbon. Go ahead and click on that to give today. If you give $500 or more, we will send you one of our yellow hats, This Week Health logo, Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation logo. And we do some special things for people who wear the yellow hats at industry meetups and conferences that we are at. So love to have you be a part of that, and we will match that as well. So thank you for your generosity. One last thing, share this podcast with a friend or colleague. Use it as a foundation for daily or weekly discussions on the topics that are relevant to you and the industry. A form of mentoring. We would love for you to do that this year. Make that commitment to mentor someone. They can subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, let's take a look at this article. Cyberattack led to harrowing lapses at Ascension Hospital's clinicians say. Okay, so ransomware attack on Ascension, one of the largest healthcare systems in the U.S., severely disrupted patient care by locking clinicians out of critical electronic health systems. Nurses and doctors reported numerous lapses, including medication errors and delayed lab results due to abrupt shifts from electronic to manual systems. While the health system claimed readiness for such disruptions, many staff members noted a lack of adequate training for extended downtime. The attack underscores the health sector's vulnerability to cyber attacks and the need to improve cybersecurity measures as highlighted by recent government recommendations to bolster security standards in healthcare. I'm going to look at this from an IT perspective. One of the first things I think needs to be talked about is whose responsibility is it to prepare for an abrupt or an extended outage on the floor? And while IT supports that, I'm not sure IT is responsible for that. Obviously, we're responsible for the cybersecurity and the protection to ensure that doesn't happen or happens. And if it does happen, that we control the blast radius and it's not as widespread as it was during the Ascension attack. With that being said, the systems being down, the critical care systems and the electronic systems that led to medication errors and delayed lab results. This is this is planning that needs to be done on the floors of the health systems. I remember talking to Skylakes Medical Center after their cyber attack, and one of the things that they realized is that there's a lot of people that have been trained on the EHR and they have not been trained on paper processes. I know it's hard to believe that we are that far away from the advent of the electronic health system, but there are people who've graduated from medical school, come in and practice, and they've only practiced on the EHR. So when you give them a pad of paper and a pen, they just look at you like, what am I supposed to do? Not completely. They're going to write some stuff down, but are they going to write down all the stuff that they need to write down? Do we have forms available in the event that happens? Do we have backup systems? I know for us, we had a critical downtime system at each one of the hospitals. I'm not sure it was in each one of the floors, but in key areas around the hospital that was offline. It was restored, or we moved data over to it on a frequent basis. I think it was every 24 hours we moved data over to it. That would become an archive system, so that if in the event that the rest of the systems were down, this stood by itself, and they could look up patients, they could find information on the patients, and they could provide information that was required for care. Now, with that being said, if you're taking the imaging systems down and the PAC systems and you're taking all that stuff down, there's going to be information that's not available. There's going to have to be planning that is done. I think it's important to note an important conversation that needs to happen at every health system is who is responsible for extended downtime planning, business continuity planning, extended downtime planning. And I think if you went to Scripps and you went to Ascension, and if you went to Common Spirit, you would see a different approach than you see in many health systems today. And you'll see people that have experienced those attacks understand what it looks like now, and they are now planning at a different level. And they are planning not only for a minimal outage, which is what we used to have. Oh, the system was down for 2 hours, or it's down for an hour. We'll just send patients home. We'll do whatever. To how do we operate under diversion for a week, for 3 weeks? How do we operate how do we take care of our patients that are relying on us to the extent that the systems are down for 3 or 4 weeks? I think when you get to 3 or 4 weeks, that's about the extent, about 3 weeks is about the extent that the planning should take place for, maybe 4 weeks. Anything beyond that, there's something major has happened. We should be planning on an IT perspective on restoring all of our systems. If every system at your health system went out, if every IT system went down, and you should have a plan to restore all of that and be pushing that plan as close, as down to a number that is manageable. Right now, what we've seen is that if they take every system out, it's about 3 to 4 weeks. We've seen that with Scripps. We've seen that with Sky Lakes. We've seen that with Common Spirit. We've seen that. I think we're going to see that with Ascension as well. You're going to have systems be down for about 3 to 4 weeks, for about a month. What I would like to see IT do is condense that. Turn 4 weeks into 3 weeks, turn 3 weeks into 2 weeks, 2 weeks into 1 week. If you can restore every system within your environment within 1 week after a major cyber incident, we will have made significant progress in healthcare. And that's what we want to do with each one of these attacks. We want to learn, we want to grow, we want to get better, not only from defending against the attacks, but recovering from the attacks. Okay, so I think the first question we want to have is, who is really responsible for all of this planning? And I don't think it should all fall on IT. In fact, I think on the floors, I think very little of that falls on IT. To the extent that you can provide backup systems and whatnot, we should. To the extent that you can provide communication during outages, you should. All those things really make sense. But how care gets delivered on that floor without electronic systems is something that the clinicians need to work through and figure out. And then the second thing is, how do you turn 4 weeks into 1 week is something that IT should be firmly focused on. How do you turn a major event into a non-event would be the ultimate outcome, right? Hey, we just had everything compromised and we're back up the next day. That would be perfect. And really hard to do. I understand that, but that's the objective. That's the target. That's the goal. If we can get there, then cyber attacks will have less of an impact. Need to pay ransom will go way down, and the number of attacks will go way down if we can recover that quickly. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Going off of this NPR story Cyberattack led to harrowing lapses at Ascension Hospital's clinicians say. Let's try to avoid that in the future and see what we can do from an IT perspective to support that. All right, that's all for today. Don't forget, share this podcast with a friend or colleague. Use it as foundation for mentoring. We want to thank our channel sponsors who are investing in our mission to develop the next generation of health leaders. Notable: ServiceNow, Enterprise Health, Parlance, Certify Health, and Panda Health. Check them out at thisweekhealth.com/today. Thanks for listening. That's all for now.